Romeo is not some deep romantic hero. He is a boy who makes huge decisions at speed, and people keep mistaking intensity for depth.
That matters because the tragedy does not run on grand eternal love alone. It runs on impulsiveness. Romeo feels hard, fast, and without much steadiness.
So, the usual reading is too flattering? People hear the love poetry and assume emotional maturity.
Exactly. The language can sound elevated, but the behavior is unstable. Romeo is not careful, not consistent, and not in control of himself for long.
Start at the beginning, because people skip this. Before Juliet, Romeo is already in full romantic crisis over Rosaline.
Yes, he is moaning around Verona about Rosaline as if his life is finished. He talks in rehearsed love-sickness cliches, hides in groves, avoids daylight, and acts like heartbreak is his identity.
And this is not deep devotion, it is a warning sign.
Right. Rosaline never even becomes a real relationship. Romeo is in love with the performance of being in love. He is absorbed in his own feeling.
Then the speed of the switch matters. He sees Juliet at the Capulet feast, and Rosaline basically vanishes.
Almost instantly. A few hours earlier, Rosaline is the center of his emotional world. Then he sees Juliet and speaks as if this new feeling wipes out the old one completely. That is not constancy.
People call that fate. But fate is doing too much work there. Romeo changes target with absurd speed.
Yes. The play gives you a boy whose emotions lunge forward. He does not test them, slow them down, or ask what the risks are. He converts feeling into action straight away.
And the risks are not small. Juliet is a Capulet. This is not private romance in a safe world. This is enemy territory.
Exactly. He crashes the Capulet party, returns to the orchard after leaving, and pushes the relationship forward under conditions that are obviously dangerous. The speed is part of the plot, not decoration around it.
Then, by the next day, he wants marriage.
Which is crucial. Romeo does not move from attraction to knowledge. He moves from attraction to vows. Friar Lawrence even points out the problem. He basically says, slow down, this is sudden, and Romeo ignores the warning.
So, when people frame him as profound, they often miss that the adults can see the instability.
Yes, and the play keeps showing it. Romeo swings between extremes. Early on, he is gloomy and theatrical over Rosaline. Then he is ecstatic over Juliet. Then after Tybalt is killed, he collapses into self-pity and chaos.
That middle section matters, because this is where impulsiveness stops looking romantic and starts getting people killed.
Absolutely. Romeo actually tries peace with Tybalt because he is secretly married to Juliet. But when Mercutio dies, Romeo flips. He stops thinking and goes straight to revenge. He kills Tybalt in the heat of the moment.
And that one burst of anger changes the whole game.
It does. The prince banishes him. Now the marriage is wrecked by secrecy. Juliet is trapped at home, and every later decision gets harder. One impulsive act turns private passion into public disaster.
Then comes another extreme. After the banishment, Romeo talks as if exile is worse than death.
Yes, and again, the scale of his feeling outruns his judgment. Friar Lawrence has to tell him very plainly that he is lucky not to be executed. Romeo cannot hold perspective. He turns every shock into an absolute.
That is the key, isn't it? He does not just feel strongly. He keeps making final decisions inside temporary emotional states.
That is the argument. Romeo treats the emotion of the moment as if it is the whole truth. When he is in love, it is total. When he is desperate, that is total too. He has very little steadiness between those peaks.
Which brings us to the tomb, where the play stops giving him second chances.
Exactly. He hears that Juliet is dead, and he does not investigate carefully. He does not wait. He buys poison, goes to Verona, kills Paris, and takes his own life. It is the final pattern repeated at the highest cost.
So, the tragedy is not just that Romeo loves deeply, it is that he acts too fast in a world where speed is lethal.
Yes, if you smooth Romeo into a noble romantic ideal, you blur the mechanism of the play. Shakespeare gives him intense feeling, but also dangerous quickness, wild swings, and very poor timing.
And to be fair, that does not make him a joke or a simple idiot.
No, he is sincere, he is emotionally real, but sincerity is not wisdom. Romeo is not deep because he feels a lot. He is tragic because he acts before feeling has had time to become thought.